From the headlines out of California all the way back to 8 years ago here in Middle Tennessee, no one is immune to the risks of a devastating drought. But now there's a new tool to help figure out just how bad upcoming droughts could be. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb has more on the Middle Tennessee connection.
It's easy to predict what will happen here. Sun comes out, fountains come on, kids come running. But for places outside the fountains of Bicentennial Park, the predictability of what the sun and heat can do is far less certain.
Okay, this is one of Palmer's indices, and it's your different data files, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
And that's where Vandy grad student Leslie Duncan comes in.
The latitude and longitude.
With some really fancy words.
Some of that is evapotranspired.
She's part of a team that's developed a new computer program that can better forecast just how bad droughts can be. George Hornberger helped direct the project.
Of course, we are very familiar with drought now because we hear about California a lot.
And then there was the drought, one of Middle Tennessee's worst ever.
This was the summer of 2007 in Nashville. During a drought so bad, cities issued water restrictions, including specific bans for farmers.
See this leaf right here, how it's curling up? That's from the dry weather.
But here's the problem. When coming up with those widespread restrictions, water managers had to rely on drought and climate data like this, color-coded maps with huge zones, often as large as a third of the state. Duncan uses an example in the Pacific Northwest.
This would be the climate division scale here.
So Duncan and her colleagues developed a new calculator that looks at climate data at a much smaller level. And what was once a few huge zones turns into dozens of small zones, giving water managers more specific information on how to deal with droughts.
And that helps them make better decisions on what they need to do in terms of water restrictions, or whenever they start the recovery efforts where some of those efforts need to be focused.
Duncan says agencies across the country want to hear more about their calculator.
We've had quite a bit of interest in it already.
All to make droughts across the country easier to predict, even if it's not as predictable as this. Jason Lamb, News Channel 5 HD.
The Vanderbilt students looked at water, temperature, and soil data, among other things, to create their new drought calculator.